know this, but I'm always in the schnitzel box. I'm always getting myself into trouble because I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and everybody just doesn't quite like it, do they? All right, there we go. We're on. Okay, so if you guys are on the replay, hit hashtag replay and drop your name in the chat so we can say hello to you and kind of keep connected with you. If you guys are not following me on different social media platforms, or if you're not on the HAPS platform, come on over here to haps.tv. That's HAPPS .tv/invite /at Vicky Fitch, VICKIFITCH. Come join us over here and you can see all the comments. Hey, Dale, welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you being here. We are broadcasting on 9 platforms, several on FB and other ones as well as that. Tessie, welcome to the broadcast. Good to see you guys here. If you have not hit the share button yet, hit the share button because we got a lot to talk about today. I mean, today's a big day. We're going to talk about Jim Crow 2.0. I don't think so, Joe, because that is like a farce. And I mean, unfortunately, we have the commander in chief who is playing politics in a really dangerous way, and we need to talk about it. And we need to get things fixed as best we can. And the best thing we can do is to step up, stand out, and speak. We've got to share what's going on. We got to talk about it. We got to find a way to build the bridge and help us all get connected. So let me see what comments we have there. You are here. Barb Color, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here. Ed, welcome. Appreciate you. Tessie, thank you. Good evening to you as well. EO Joe, gotta go. I agree, Dale. I absolutely agree. So again, if you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. If you guys are on the platform, say hey. I know some of you guys are lurking, and I totally get it. Some of you send me private messages because you're afraid to comment. You don't want anybody to know what side of this argument you're on. And you know what? I just want you to know I don't blame you. It is not easy being green. That's what Kermit used to say, right? It's not easy being bold. It's not easy being the one to step up, stand out, and speak. And I know that. And I have no ill will or hard feelings towards anybody. I just pray that I can continue to encourage you to not be afraid of your own opinion. And if you're unsure about what your opinion is, to continue gathering information and data so you can make an informed decision on what you believe and how you want to encourage and influence your government, because that's the best thing we can do. We all have differences of opinions, and what has happened here though is that the differences of opinion now have become a dividing place for people. I was on a conversation today about some of the things that we've been talking about and about this Derek Chauvin trial. And, people are so angry. They're so up in arms and so committed. Yes, I know it is, Dale. And I'm on there. By the way, if you guys are not on Frank's speech yet, I am there under Vicky Fitch, VICKIFITCH. Please look me up and find me. There's some other platforms we're going to be on as well, because again, I'm always in the schnitzel box here, but for now, we're still here. And so continue and make sure you go to VickyFitch.com, VICKIFITCH.com. Get on my newsletter list. That way, you know exactly what's happening when we change schedules, or, what's going on, that we can send you a quick email and let you know when there's a change in the broadcast. Mr. T has one too. Yeah, but it's not out yet, right? I haven't seen anything on it. I know he said he was bringing it out, but he hasn't yet. Am I right or am I wrong? Tell me, Dale. Tell me, because I did not see anything on it. Pittsburgh in the house. Melanie Weiser, thanks for being here. Again, thanks for hitting the share button. Thank you for contributing. And again, being open enough to have a conversation here when it's really there is a silent majority. I believe, and I could be wrong, that the majority of people in the United States are not 100% on board with the way things are going, and what happens. I think many people are being swayed by what's happening in the media and what other things are coming. So let's, before we jump into the Jim Crow 2.0, let's talk about LeBron James just for a minute. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat box if you know who LeBron James is, right? I think most people do, because he's certainly a very loud public figure. He's someone that people know. They recognize. Hello, whoever just wrote hello on Facebook. Hello from China. Good morning. I don't know who that is either. If you guys tell me who it is, I'd really appreciate it. For some reason, many people coming through from Facebook do not show your name. So you got to drop your name in there. Let's see. China, welcome. LA trash. There you go, Dale. Coming to an app near you. Yes, absolutely. Okay. And so LeBron, kind of stuck his foot in his mouth yes, or at least I think he did. And I even think he thinks he did, but instead of admitting it, he's doubling down on his ignorance, right? I mean, that we got to talk about what happened. That, I mean, this this stuff that's going around. I'm watching social media basically burn by people saying, they shot us. This cop shot a 16-year-old. This and this and this. I mean, put a 2 in the chat box if you actually know what transpired, if you watch the video footage, if you actually watch stuff to know what happened, because most of the people I'm talking to don't. They're just hearing, "Oh no, another white cop shot a black girl," right? But that's not what happened. And this is why it's so important that we go do our own research and we find out what's happening. A cop did shoot a black girl, and from what I understand, she was 16 years old. But she had threatened to murder someone, and she was in the act of stabbing another girl. She was literally, and you can look at the video, she's about to stab another girl. She's already threatened to kill her, and she's about to stab her, and the police officer shot her and killed her. And it's super unfortunate. Anytime someone dies, that's horrible. I, I think it's a tragedy, it's a travesty. It's awful. No one wants people to die. But then all these people are saying, "Oh, he should have tried to talk her down. He should have done." Are you guys, can we just watch the video for a second? She's literally about to ram a knife into someone. And we're going to, "Excuse me, could you just wait a moment? I'd like to chat." Or let me, instead of going into automatic, what I've been trained, which is to grab my weapon and stop a perpetrator from murdering an innocent person. We want them to stop and contemplate look, if you're not pulling a knife and running at someone, you wouldn't have got shot in this particular case. And I'm sorry. Am I sorry that she died? I am. Am I sorry that the cop had to shoot her? I am. But I'm just going to twist this around for a minute. If that was your mom, your wife, your sister on the other end of the knife that was about to get plunged into them, would you have wanted the officer to take action? Do you want him to be indecisive and go, "Uh-oh, this is a black girl. I'm not allowed to shoot black people"? I mean, I'm being honest here because this is nuts. They are trained. They go through training. They go through all of their career. Anybody that's a cop right now is either a hero or an idiot, right? Because let's face it, and I say that tongue in cheek. I love our police, but anybody that wants to be a police officer right now has got to have, like, they're crazy because the way they are treated. Now, he's a hero. He saved a girl's life and maybe more people because apparently she had threatened to kill other people. He saved her life. And LeBron James says that you're next with a little hourglass saying you're next and hashtag accountability. You're next what? He saved her life. And yet, because it was a black girl, now he put his picture up, by the way. So he publicly announced, it's like a mini hit. Like, I don't think LeBron is actually a hitman or is involved in gangs or the cartel. I don't know. But who does that? Who does that? And then he deleted it because he got a lot of backlash. But and what he said today was mind-boggling. And I'm going to go and jump over here to the comments for a minute because, again, and if you haven't hit the share button, hit that share button. Get on here on the haps.tv, haps.tv/invite/@Vicky Fitch. If you guys are already on Haps, come and find me at Vicky Fitch. Okay, let's see. Dennis from Dennis, it's so good to see you, my friend. How are things going? I've been watching some of your videos, kind of keeping up to date. I think you guys are all you're back to normal a little bit there, from what I understand, right? I've heard his name. I don't follow basketball. Wouldn't recognize him if I passed him on the street, but you probably recognize him soon because you'll see his picture all over the place. Should schoolyard knife fights be pay-per-view now? Right? Ed, it's getting crazy. It's really getting crazy, and it's really sad. Mainstream media's already edited the video. I know, right? And that's the thing. Are we really going to continue to put up with this from the mainstream media instead of actually showing us what happened? That they doctor things, they cut it up and make it look different than it is. This is another man's life on the line. We already talked about the Chauvin thing, right? We talked about how the jury must have been feeling, especially after Mad Max decided to go wackadoodle with what she had to say, trying to incite violence. And we've got EO Joe making his statements and the Wicked Witch of the White House making hers. I mean, are you guys kidding me? And then not only that, but then The Wicked Witch of the West, and if you guys have not been watching me very long, you might have to, figure out the legend here because I'm trying to not trigger that algorithm to keep putting me in the schnitzel box. But the Wicked Witch of the White House then concurred that Mad Max was okay, that it was okay what she said. Th this I mean, I'm serious, I don't even recognize this country right now. I don't recognize our government, I don't recognize what they're doing. They are dividing our nation into, 2 camps and then segregating even those camps because this out of control. Most people like each other. Most of us want to connect no matter what color or creed or religion or sexual preference we have, we want to connect. We don't walk around with the judgment stick in our hand. But yet, the mainstream media is continuing to push us and insist that we segregate each other. And we need to say, no, I'm not going to. I like people. I'm not going to segregate other people by any of this criteria. We are part of the same race, the human race, and we need to treat each other with dignity and respect. We should expect our law enforcement officers to use the tools and the training they got and to react. If someone is rushing at me with a knife, I pray to God an officer is there to stop them. And we should all be thanking him. He's a hero. He is a hero. He did what he was supposed to do and he saved someone's life. And now we got protesters going around. She was 16. I'm sorry, we're not doing a survey on your age when you're about to ram a knife into someone's stomach. And if you haven't seen the pictures, I could probably grab them and put them in here. So I'm going to go back over here to the comments because y'all can see that I am very heated about this because our nation, our country, and our world is at stake if we continue to allow people to do this to us. It's awful what happens. It's awful when any criminal, does criminal activity, and certainly it's terrible when the police have to get involved and when they get caught and when things happen. But we have taken these things and we have put a blowtorch on every single interaction with police officers, and I can't imagine that they don't all just walk out. They can't do you can't do anything right. I saved a girl's life today. Yeah, but she was black. You killed a black girl. I saved someone's life. I did this. I did It doesn't matter anymore. There are bad cops. There are bad doctors. There are bad marketing consultants. There are bad people in the world, but we need to stop identifying everyone as bad because that's not helping. Okay. Here we are. Let's see. I like what Candace said. Cops don't need more training, but your children do. I think maybe some cops do probably need more training, but our children absolutely do. Did any of you see? Put a 3 in the chat box if you saw the post that I did sharing that there's the 2 black kids. The guy's doing a selfie, smoking a joint, showing his friend flipping off a cop as the cop is driving by. That is a children problem. That is, don't tell me those kids are scared to death of cops because they are not scared at all. They're literally antagonizing the cops. That is a child problem. That's a parenting issue that we need to work on. It is but again, when we look at our political climate, they're teaching these kids it's okay if you do that. And then the woman, I think it was it her adopted mother? Maybe some of you guys can correct me. I promise I'm gonna get to these comments. It looks like I have 14 that I haven't seen yet. Just hold on a second. But and I shared it out on Joel Patrick's video on my feed. So if you guys wanna see this actual video footage of this woman saying this, I think it was her foster mother or adopted mother. I'm not sure which, but they made a point of identifying it not just as her mom, but she goes, "She was doing nothing. She didn't have no weapon. She didn't have nothing." Da da da. And then people in the crowd, you hear them say, "Don't lie. Stop lying." I mean, we've already seen the video footage where she literally almost stabbed the girl, right? And then in the same sentence, like I don't know, 8 seconds later, she goes, "So she had a knife." Like, so she says she doesn't have it, then she does. There's no accountability for people lying and trying to get themselves in the spotlight. I mean, honestly, there's no other reason for you to sit there in the news and doing this with the news. If my kid just got killed, I'm bawling. I don't even have time or energy to speak to you. I'm not coherent enough. I'm not going to be standing there going, she wasn't even doing nothing wrong. That was grandstanding, in my opinion. Now, again, we don't know how each person will react differently in times of stress or strife or what happens. But we have to note that we are making the criminals the heroes these days. We're making criminals the heroes. This is nuts. It's nuts. And if you didn't see the Candace video that I shared, Candace Owens video I shared out earlier, watch that. She actually highlights some of the issues of who we're doing this to, and it's wrong. It is wrong. We shouldn't be idolizing people anyway. But it's wrong what we're doing, especially when we're trying to make it. Like I said, here's a police officer that did his job exactly the way he was supposed to and saved someone's life, and still he LeBron basically threatens him. I mean, this LeBron needs to have something happen. If that was a white guy, I'm being honest with you. Think about this for a minute. If that was a white guy, because let's just flip for a minute to what happened with Brett Favre, who said that he doesn't believe that Derek Chauvin intentionally murdered George Floyd. He got backlash like nuts, right? I personally support that. I don't think he did intentionally kill him. He did kill him. What he did was wrong, but we talked about this last night. It didn't meet the burden of proof in terms of having that they're beyond a reasonable doubt. It did not meet that burden. I mean, anyway, you can watch yesterday's broadcast if you want. Go through that. Anyway, so we need to start. If it was a white guy that had done what LeBron did, he probably would have lost every sponsorship he did. Everybody would have been, backing up and saying, oh, the woke, corporations would be backing off and saying, we don't want to have anything to do with you. Thank you so much for the awards, you guys. Backing up. But yet, here we got LeBron, and nobody's saying jack, right? I mean, there's people that are saying, where's the sponsorship withdrawals for the absolute attack on an honest man who did his job? Okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm. All right. So which Black life mattered more? Exactly, Melanie. What a great question. I mean, seriously, which one mattered more? Do the innocent lives not matter anymore? I mean, do they not matter? I don't know. Bad thing about all this, it happened all over the US every day, but they pick and choose who to exploit on the media. Right, Brad? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. If she could have been talked down, all the people around her would have done it already. Excellent point, Facebook user. I don't know who that is, but excellent point. And whoever said totally agree, this is nuts. It is nuts. And this has to change. Salt Lake City, Scotty, welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you being here. The trash. Thanks, Dale. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, Scotty, thank you so much for subscribing. If you guys haven't subscribed, by the way, make sure you're here on Haps that you subscribe. If you're on a different platform, subscribe, turn on the bell, turn on the live notifications, do your duty, do a girl a solid. If you don't like me, you can always unfollow me later, but at least give me a chance to get that information. Hey, Kathy, welcome to the broadcast. Back to normal for many months in China. I'm so glad to hear that, Dennis. I really am. Let's see. The propaganda machine exists everywhere. MSM in America is totally out of control. The view from China is very clear. Many Americans can't see the forest for the trees. I cannot disagree with that. I'm assuming that is you, Dennis, since you're identifying China, but someone else could be here from there. Hey, Holly, welcome. Truth. Amen to that. Tessie says they want the police to second guess actually doing their jobs. This is so dangerous. Tessie, I 100% agree with you. If my husband or my kids or my family members, anybody I know that's a cop, I don't want them second guessing themselves. I want them to go. Instinct is what they do. That's why they train and train and train. Do some people make mistakes like the girl with the taser versus gun? Absolutely. Do they need to be reprimanded and dealt with? Absolutely. You can't, you accidentally shoot someone, there are consequences, right? It's not okay. But again, she also didn't murder him, right? Murder means intent. She didn't intend to murder him. She said, taser, 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 because that's what they do. If you guys don't know, just like they do when you say clear before you put electric volts onto a body, because anybody touching them, the current goes through them. So when you're going to tase someone, you have to make sure none of your officers, no one else is touching them, or they're going to get the electrical current too. So again, what she did is wrong. She already stepped down from her job. There's going to be a trial. I'm sure there are consequences for behavior when people make mistakes. But when someone does exactly what they're supposed to do, then continue to be chastised for it and called names and saying he's a racist. Like, I was reading someone who I actually consider a friend, and I was reading her rhetoric today about how this world is so systemically racist. And obviously Derek Chauvin, either because he was Black or because there's zero proof, zero indication that the Chauvin thing with George Floyd had anything to do with race. Not, it wasn't even brought up once at the trial. No one believes that. And yet the media continues to pour it on, pour it on, pour it on like gasoline and getting people angry and riled up instead of letting us be friends. We should all be able to be friends. None of us condone what happened. None of us condone a girl trying to stab another girl. We don't condone that. And if we were there, we would have wanted to do something too, right? And now people are afraid. If you think about this for a minute, guys, and I promise I'm going to get back to those comments. Think about it. If you were there and you saw a girl about to stab another girl and you had the opportunity to clock her or trip her or push her down to stop her, you would want to. I mean, probably, right? You would probably want to prevent the what was coming from happening because your instincts would kick in to try and protect people, right? But if the girl trips and falls on the knife and then all of a sudden you're the murderer, you hate black people, you're a racist. That am I right? Put a 5 in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about. That people are now afraid to stand up for what's right because they're going to end up in jail, they're going to end up chastised, they're going to lose their friendships and their property or their businesses because this is ludicrous and no one's saying anything about it. But everyone's afraid now to take action. Now the police are going to be afraid to take action. I don't want my police afraid to take action. I want people who want to protect and serve to protect and serve. And if that's going to happen and we're going to have anybody, I mean, anybody that's applying as a cop right now is seriously either is insane or they do want to have, I don't know. I mean, it's like they would just be crazy to do it. I'm making funny speculations because it seems so extreme and outrageous. But seriously, any good quality candidates are probably not going to apply for the police force right now. And they're probably not going to go into the military when you got people like Rashida Tlaib saying not only does she want to defund the police, close all the prisons and let all the hoodlums out and about, but she also wants to get rid of our military. Did you guys know that? And did you hear that, Mad Max, what she said about it? Well, I support my friend and she's speaking from her heart. They're nuts. That sounds like something a terrorist would say. I mean, what's the perfect thing? Like if I'm a terrorist and I want to come take over a country, well, if you get rid of your police, you let all the bad people out and about and less attention on me and get rid of the military. It's pretty much open season. Come on in. And let's just open the borders too. Just come on in. Is anybody hearing me? Is anybody hearing me? Because I'm serious. This is nuts. It's nuts. Okay. They want the police to second guess. Yes, they do. 233. Thank you so much. That is a parental problem. Kathy, I have to agree with you. There's, if my kid did that and I saw him, I'd go smack him in the head, grab him by the ear and drag him in the house. That's what I would do. But, it doesn't mean my kid wouldn't kill me if they were those kids either. I have no idea. They say she was a child of 16, yet a certain party wants to give 16-year-old children the right to vote. You can't have it both ways. You know what? Melanie brings up a good point. Here's a child of 16. Now, what if like I said, I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a minute, right? We already know how hormonal teenagers are, right? I mean, most of us were one or are one, right? Because I'm guessing most of us were one, but since I pretend I'm 22, that my friend group could be really close. But we know how hormonal that kids are, during their teen years, right? Now we want to give kids an opportunity at 12 without parental permission to go ahead and have a gender reassignment surgery, which means that they're getting injected with hormones and gender suppressing things and hormone therapy. So if this girl, what if she was going through her transition? She was transitioning, so she has an extra dose of hormones and she's going to stab another girl because let's face it, testosterone or progesterone, and I don't even know what other hormone, I can't even think of them right now. But when we have an overabundance of them, it makes us want to do weird things. Okay. I remember, and many of you, if you've read my books, then when again, this is TMI for some of you, but the rest of you will catch where I'm going here. When I started my period when I was early, right? And I had problems. I had bleeding all the time. I started becoming anemic because my body would keep bleeding. So the doctor put me on birth control pills. So for a while, I think I was 13 or 14 when that was happening, maybe even up to 15. And then when I was 16, they adjusted the dosage. And I came home one day and I said to I well, actually, not was it coming home. I was leaving for school. I was taking my sister to school with me. And I had this outrageous urge to shove her out of the car while it was moving. I'm being honest. She wasn't even doing anything, and I was always irritated at my sister, but she wasn't even doing anything. And I just felt like I wanted to shove her out of the car while it was moving. I mean, seriously, it was crazy. I turned the car around and I went back to my house and I said, "Mom, something is wrong." I wanted to push her out of the car while I was moving. And of course, my mom thought I was being dramatic, right? And just stop. And I go, "No, Mom, I'm serious. Something's wrong." Well, we went back to the doctor. It turned out that the prescription they'd given me was 3 times the dose I was supposed to be taking. And so my hormones were completely out of whack, right? So we know hormones change people. We know hormones do affect people, right? So, what if this person's going through a transition? Now, are we going to excuse the behavior because we've induced it to what's happening? Because there's so much already going on in kids' lives, and we're trying to mess them up even more. And we're trying to justify and allow people to do stuff. We're allowing unacceptable behavior, right? We cannot accept unacceptable behavior, and we've got to stop all the craziness that's going on and stop making excuses for people because that's coming next. Now if somebody that is going through the transition that's trans is doing something, now we have a different set of excuses. Because really, if we haven't noticed, the world is becoming anti-white. I'm not sure why. I am not a white supremacist. I don't know any white supremacists. I wouldn't spend time with people if I knew any white supremacists because that's wrong and it's crazy and it's nuts, which does bridge us over to today's topic. So I'm going to read the comments and then we're going to go into Jim Crow 2.0. I don't think so, Joe, in just a minute. So if you guys are not over here on Haps, haps.tv/invite/ at Vicky Fitch, whatever platform you're on, make sure you subscribe and go to my newsletter list, Vicky at VickyFitch.com. You can sign up in a multitude of places. And then you'll get information to know when we're going live and what's happening. Let me get your answers over here and then we'll dive into that part. Okay, let's see. Sorry, it just goes by really fast. Let's see. It's all about basic respect for our fellow humans. It's so lacking in society these days on every level. I have to agree with you, Facebook user. I don't know who you are. Again, you have to put your name there for some reason on Facebook. Lori said, I think there should be a social programs where police and youth have game days, art days, etc. Lori, I think that's a great idea. I think many people would mock it because they think that they're too cool for it. But I think when anything we start at a very young level, like the kindergarten level, and we start introducing kids to cops and start building those relationships, then we have a better perspective because we've talked about this before. Racism is not we're not inherently racist. I don't care what anybody says. That's nonsense and it's gibberish and it's ridiculous. We're taught racism. We're taught, and then this new study of 3-month-old that they start showing signs of racism at 3 months. That please just don't listen to this gibberish. It's nuts. Stop allowing people to mess with your head. You know who you are. If you're a racist, you know you're a racist. If you don't think you're a racist, you're not. Stop with this white fragility crap that says you're either a racist or a racist in denial and getting people confused where they're kissing people's feet and boots and getting on their knees begging for forgiveness and this reparation crap. Stop. Treat people with dignity and respect. Let's be kind to everyone, no matter what nation they're from, what nationality, what race, what creed, what religion. It doesn't matter. Just be respectful and treat people with dignity and respect. There are programs like this, but not enough of them. I totally agree that we could do more, right? High five award from Miss Joanne Pham. Thanks, girlfriend. And by the way, if you guys don't know the social currency here, every day you check in on HAPS, you get free coins, right? And you can use those free coins to celebrate and say congratulations, or if you agree with something that's going on in the broadcast, you can do a high five and you're financially supporting the broadcasters. Anybody on here that you find good, go support them. Again, you can get those coins for free. You can also purchase some and sponsor people. directly, but I encourage you to do that. And thank you, Joanne. Holly says it will never be enough. Holly, unfortunately, that's the way we're headed. And if we don't start steering the ship, if we don't change direction and insist that we are not going to put up with this, it is going to stay the same. But I believe, just like, we're always told, even though it's hard to see, that a ripple effect, right? One thing, maybe something I say today, or Joanne said yesterday, or someone says tomorrow, will affect you and give you the courage to say something about something, and it will continue the ripple effect. And that's what we have to hold on to. The butterfly effect, they say, the flapping of the wings, it makes a difference. You need to step up, stand out, and speak. Stop being silent. You don't have to ram your opinion down other people's throat, but you also don't have to be railroaded and allowing other people to believe that you're in alignment with their thinking when they're out of their minds. Because let's face it, some of this stuff is nuts. I think the woke idea is that minorities should never ever be policed, but people who don't wear masks should be treated as mass murderers. You know what, Lori? I think that's a little bit dramatic, and yet you do see it. I don't wear a mask, and I told many of you guys before, I'm immune compromised. I make the choice not to wear a mask. I do not expect other people to protect my health. That's my job. If I choose not to wear a mask, which I do, if I get sick, it's my fault. If you know you have a disease that you're going to infect people with and you go out, then that's your fault. That's on you. The rest of it is on the other people. We should not be sequestering people and controlling people who are healthy. The sick need to protect themselves. And guess what? Just like, I have a son with Asperger's, and the Autism Society has events. We don't expect movie theaters to turn down the volume for our kids in a movie theater, right? And yet, what happens? Autism Society comes in and does a special day where autistic kids can come in. The lights are lower, the sound is lower, so you can provide the opportunities you seek for people that have special things. You might have a shopping day, a full mask shopping day for people who are uncomfortable. They'll still have protocols that you can have hand sanitizer and they'll wipe down the carts, do whatever you need to do. But we need to stop expecting the world to conform to the sick. We do. I mean, honestly, guys, like I said, I'm immune compromised. I already know that. You guys know when I get sick, I get absolutely waylaid. I have scar tissue in my lungs. I've had pneumonia. I've had pleurisy, but it's my choice. I don't expect the world to protect me. And you shouldn't have to live that way. That's not the way it works. And it shouldn't work that way. Okay, let's see, 5-5, so you guys know what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay, Dale, thank you. Tessie says he was in a no-win situation. Either he took her down or he let the victim die. Right, Tessie? I mean, hello? The victim or the murderer? Well, I don't know. It's like, do you want to think, well, they're both black, they're both white. No, training. Stop the perpetrator. The one that's running at someone with a knife, that's the one that's got to go down. It's super sad and it's terrible, but it is what it is. You do not get to commit crimes and kill other people. Yeah, the governor of my state, Asa Hutchinson, actually vetoed a bill that would chemically castrate children. Our legislators had enough votes to override him. He vetoed the bill that would chemically castrate them, or he vetoed the bill that said they could do that? Because it sounds like he's the bad guy. I'm going to call him the bad guy that wants to allow this chemical castration of children, but the legislators overrode him, right? Help me understand, make sure I got that right. Nancy said, wow, I don't know what you're talking about, Nancy, but let me know. Cher says it's definitely anti-white, right? It's sad and it's not right. I don't want to be anti anyone. We should be one race, the human race, will all matter, and we should all treat each other with dignity and respect. So they're allowing it now. Yeah, I was confused too, Dale. No, they were able to override his veto. Did you see that statement President Mr. T put out on Hutchinson? I don't think I did. Is it something recent, Tessie? Let me know. And if you have a link, pop it in here so I can check it out. I don't think I saw Mr. T talk about. I don't either, Dale. I will find it and send it to you. Thanks so much. Mass are sequesters. No, I'm not sure what that means. What I said was that we shouldn't that the sick, if they need to be sequestered, if they need to be quarantined, that they can, that the healthy should not be quarantined in their homes and they should not be required to wear masks. That if the sick have a problem and they're trying to protect themselves with a mask, then that's okay. I have no problem keeping my distance from other people that are wearing masks or if people are uncomfortable. Let me know if that made sense, Jeffrey, because I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, sometimes because of the delay. Share says they shouldn't hold jobs that whites are qualified for if no other races step up to apply for them. Wait, they shouldn't hold jobs that whites are qualified for if no other race. I don't know what that means, Share. I think what you mean is that I that we shouldn't be filling positions with people based on their color, their race, or anything else. We should fill it unqualified. Because I know we did a broadcast for those of you who didn't see it on one of the airlines. I think it wasn't it Delta. That Delta has said they are going to have at least 50% of their pilots be female and colored. I can't remember exactly, so don't quote me on that. But you know, the qualifications were not there. It was they had to be female, and I think they had to be women of color, or maybe I think I can't remember exactly. But the point was like, what qualifications should be what count, and trying to make sure you have the equal amount of people by race or color or creed is ridiculous. It should be based on qualifications. Now, if we know an organization is specifically disqualifying people or refuses to promote those people, we have two options. One, reporting them and having that information, having people find out. And two, of course, leaving that job because you don't want to be held back. But hopefully we understand, where we're going with this. People shouldn't be doing it, but we also shouldn't have the criteria in there that excludes people from taking a job because even if they're more qualified because they want to fill a quota. That just doesn't serve anyone. He's the bad guy. Gotcha, Tessie. He thinks children should be allowed to be in transit. So do they here in California. Nutty Newsom is off his rocker, and that stuff has been going on here for a while. We've been fighting it, and he's like I said. And then of course, when EO Joe decides to put someone into office in the health area that thinks it's okay, and even she said we should be talking to kids, I think as young as 6, right? We should be able to discuss this with kids as young as 6. That's just confusion on steroids right there. It's like kids are not talking about am I a boy or am I a girl. They don't talk about that when they're little unless other people are interjecting that. They play what they want to play, they do what they want to do. It's just, again, it's nuts. It's nuts. Jenny Jones just subscribed. Thanks, Jenny, for being here. If you quarantine the healthy, they will become unhealthy. Exactly, Tessie. Your immune system has to work. It has to learn how to defend itself. Cher says for the country, a certain number of jobs are based on color. Yes, and that's wrong. I think it's wrong. I mean, I think we should make sure that people have equal opportunities, but I don't think we should have any kind of criteria that says you have to be black or white, or I think then that's still racist. It's just a different form of racism, but it's still racist. Never flying Delta till they change this. Right. And again, I think it's Delta, Facebook user. I don't know who said that. I think it was Delta because we did that show on it, but I'm not positive. Perhaps the push of transgender change for kids is to reduce fertility. Maybe, Lori. I mean, they do say that, there's been a lot of talk, which I haven't done a lot of research on, about Bill BG trying to depopulate, that the population's too great and the world's going to end and blah blah blah. And so supposedly that part of this, I didn't hear that. I know that I've heard it from a million people that he said this, and it's a TEDx talk and stuff, and I can go see it and I will go check it out. But he believes that the world's going to be overpopulated, and so he's a proponent of reducing the population. And it's called, do you know what cognitive dissonance is? That something is too abstract, too painful, or too crazy for us to process. We can deal with it if it's part of a movie script because we don't think it's true and we don't believe that it's going to be, it's not real. So it's easier for us to process. But when you really put us in front of something that's too overwhelming to accept, we choose not to. We choose not to believe it. And sometimes that happens with mothers when the children have told them that the father or the stepfather has molested them. And the mother's like, I don't believe it. It's cognitive dissonance, not because they are It's not still not right, don't get me wrong. It's just the way the body reacts to protect itself, and we cannot process something that horrible, something that horrific. And that's, I guess, how I feel about, people that wanna depopulate the earth, that, and it was said that, again, this is something I haven't done enough research on, but feel confident that it's accurate because of the people that I have shared it. That when Planned Parenthood was created, it was the woman admitted that started it was to depopulate the black community, that encouraging them to have abortions, encouraging them to have a family without a father, without the nuclear family being together, and that was a catalyst. The Black Lives Matter movement was a catalyst on top of that. I mean, if you read, and I know it's gone off their website now, but I did personally see that, and I know I have screenshots, but you can use the Wayback Machine. And I know Stacy Lynn Harp at Bible News Radio has tons of screenshots and all kinds of detailed information on that organization, because she was checking into them way before I ever recognized that they were not operating in the best interest of that community. That they're making a lot of money, but they're not doing anything for the people, and that their motives were wrong. Their motives, the theme, the hashtag and the theme and the name of the website is 100% true. Black lives do matter. But their concept of trying to break apart the nuclear family and trying to promote again, read the old stuff. It's scary, and you think, what? You know, it when alls we hear are the words, what BLM stands for. When we hear those words, we automatically say, yes, of course it does. But that's not what their purpose was. And again, when you start putting those dots together, it's horrible. It's horrific, and it's nauseating to think that there are people in the world that are so awful and evil that they put these kind of plans into action and then try and destroy other people. And so anyway, I know I'm getting off topic. Let's see. Tessie's a good friend that I invited to come in. Oh, thank you, Dale. And Tessie, thank you so much for being here. Cher says they reduced fertility in Japan. Now they don't have enough men in the population anymore, and they don't know what to do. Well, that is unfortunate, right? I mean, they did have a one baby rule in China, right? And I think they're feeling some of the effects of that as well. Right now, and just in different areas. Be sure to check out Vicky over at Haps. Thank you, Joanne. Haps.tv/invite/at Vicky Fitch. And be sure to feel free to give me some high fives, right? One of my friends schooled me when I put on Facebook, All Lives Matter. His position is, by saying all, it takes away from the whole point of the Black Lives as Matters as a whole. I've heard people talk about this too, and I've discussed it with some of my Black friends. Some are under the opinion that that is wrong, right? You should not say that, because somehow you're disregarding Black lives. I think it has to do with what you believe, and I have to say, I believe all lives matter. I do. Blue lives matter. That means the cops. I'm a huge supporter of our police officers. If we have bad cops, we need to move them out. I'm still a huge supporter of our police department, and I believe we need to back the blue, right? So blue lives matter, Black lives matter, white lives matter, Asian lives matter, all lives matter. I get that people want to take that phrase and say that makes me a bigot, or that makes me a racist, or whatever, but it isn't true, because what's in your heart is what's important. They can say whatever they want, but you know what's true. And so, my opinion, all lives matter. I'm not discounting Blacks or Asians or Indian or any other nationality, culture, or anything else. Every single human life matters. Every single one. Well, animals matter too. Kathy, I know, is a huge animal advocate, right? But lives matter. We are humans. We are part of the human race, and we need to treat each other with the dignity and respect of being part of that race. And I'm sorry, but the BLM movement is a is an awful movement. Not the words. The words I agree with, but the movement itself, if you aren't familiar, let me know and we can do a talk on that, and then I'll never get back out of the schnitzel box. But that's okay, because again, I didn't know in the beginning either. When people started giving me information and showing me, and I started reading, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is on their own website." says that they're not, they don't support a nuclear family. They don't care if dads are in the picture, and we all know statistically that without a father figure, that it does create problems. More kids end up in jail, more kids commit crimes when the father is not in the home. And anyway, Candace Owens does a really good job of describing that. Let's see. So they can school you, Kathy. I'm still going to say it. Because it's true. I believe that it's true that we all lives matter, and I'm not discounting any Black lives, life or lives as a whole, by recognizing that we all matter. And again, people can take whatever they want. They're redefining words in the dictionary. They're taking words that we used to use and we can't use them anymore because now they mean something else. They've identified 64 genders. I heard the other day there was 69. I don't know. The genders, it's ridiculous. Like I can't even keep up, and I'm an adult with a good vocabulary. Children will never keep up. We have to stop letting people define words for us and say that now they mean something new. Like we're not supposed to say him or her or he or she. I'm not doing that. I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to try and change everything that I've ever known because a movement of people have decided that they're not male or female. They're combination of the two. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it. I'm not going to try and redefine the dictionary. And that's what they're trying to do with other things too. We should be able to say words and not be chastised and not attacked because people want to assign a value to them that we don't have. Does that make sense? Tessie, wait, let's see. Nature has a population control natural illnesses, but we seem to think nature is bad and medical modification is good. It's a good point, Lori, right? We do. There are, you know, some pregnancies are automatically aborted because there's a problem with the body. There are some, there's some illnesses we don't recover from. So there is that adjustment in the population, and medical care is better now. But what they're trying to do to us, like I said, there's a huge divide. You don't hear about it much, but there's a huge divide in the medical community about mask wearing. Huge. The mainstream media continues to promote what Fauci says. One mask, two masks, 20 masks, 100 masks. I don't know. I'm not wearing a mask. But there are doctors, huge coalition of doctors that are saying it all the time. One of them he's a senator, right? That I sent the thing. People are trying to get his medical license revoked. They can't take it away, at least yet, but they're continuing to try because he's not subscribing to this point of view. There's actually a lawsuit right now against the CDC about the coronavirus. I've talked about that on other shows. We need to be aware. We need to know what's going on. I absolutely believe depopulation is their agenda, right, Tessie? And isn't that sad? It's disgusting. It's horrible. I don't even know what to say. Welfare encourages broken homes by paying more. It does, Lori. It absolutely does. Just like there's a there was a did you guys see the CDC report? Who was it that sent me that video? It was on OAN News. Someone sent it to me in Facebook Messenger. The CDC, and I got to do a show on this. I just couldn't find the file again. The video recording has redone their figures and talked about 85%. I think, don't quote me, but it's a huge number. It's well over 50% of the cases that were identified as coronavirus are not coronavirus. The CDC has reported it. Like they're just not talking about it. They're updating the figures to be accurate, but they're not talking about why this huge change in figures. And OAN News did a big article on it. You should check it out. And like I said, somebody remind me, I've got to do a show on that. Let's see. And how much money that they're paying people for identifying things as coronavirus. I think I'm going to say, I don't know if it was 16,000 or 16% of the people were already on hospice care. People on hospice are already going to die. If coronavirus was introduced, like hospice means you can't come back, right? And I know there are very few, some things that just happen to, whatever, and God does a miracle and they do come back. But in general, if you're on hospice care, there's no more hope, right? Unless there's a miracle from God, there's no more hope. So if those people die, and they happen to have, some kind of coronavirus, they didn't die of coronavirus. They were already going to die. They may have expired a few days early. Usually hospice care, I think, is usually like 90 days, like, right? A max of 90 days. So So they get an extra 36,000 or 96,000 or 120,000, whatever it is, they get extra money if they identify as coronavirus. And I know personally from people that are in the medical industry, they were required, now hear me there, they were required when anyone came into the hospital to automatically mark them positive for COVID. They do the test, and then by the end of the day, they're supposed to go match all the results and change the computer. But they didn't. They didn't have time, they didn't have energy, they had an influx of people. So one person that I know personally said 40 to 50% of the people they were reporting that had COVID did not have COVID. They just never updated the chart. And once it's been 24 hours, it's already the results are already reported. So think about that for a minute. Think about what we're contributing to. There's a difference between wanting to make sure that hospitals and stuff are taken care of and giving them extra resources when they have a COVID patient because you had different protocols for cleaning and all that stuff. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have them. I'm saying that what happened was nuts. And people know there was exposés done of nurses videotaping, having button cams and videotaping doctors telling him, "Yeah, I know we're not supposed. I know he doesn't have COVID, but we have to have at least 10% of the patients today that expire be COVID." It's on tape as people saying this. But is the mainstream media showing you? No. So use the brave duck, and many of you know what I mean. Use the brave duck instead of your other options, and you can find that information for yourself. It is not, it's there. It's just being suppressed. So again, and lots of it's there, lots of different places. It's not like one random place, lots of places. It's just getting suppressed. Let's see. Welfare encourages broken homes. Yes, it does. Dale. Whoops, sorry. There we go. Dale, thank you so much. Tessie said, a side note, do you see any whites or cops rioting over the Minnesota ruling? I know, right, Cher? No, we can accept jury's rulings and all the daily court stuff stop. Um, I can accept, I don't agree with it, but I'm not out rioting over it, right? But I don't know, people. We may have to start not rioting, but we may have to start getting a little rowdier. We might have to pull something out of the Mad Max playbook and start doing stuff that's different. Like we have to come up with we have to come up with something new because what we're doing right now isn't working. It's just not working. We are getting waylaid by a very well coordinated left, right? I mean, you guys heard today, right? That they passed legislation in the House for DC to become a state so they can have more Democratic senators because they're right now it's too close to call. And they're worried about 2022 when we're going to get some more Republicans in there. So they're trying to do the court packing. They're doing everything they said they were going to do and then said they weren't going to do. They're doing it. And you got to wake up. I mean, again, we knew that was going to happen. Mr. T reminded us it was going to happen. Flip-flopping, Fauci, flip-flopping EO Joe, flip-flopping, KH. Those people were all over the place. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we're not. You knew they were going to. They were just swaying with the wind wherever their base was at the time. Let's see. Yes, exactly, Dale. My middle name is Lynn. I use a Dell laptop for my writing. TV.com. That's where you guys need to go to check out some very interesting stuff. You can call it sea theory stuff if you want to, but it's not. It's factual. Go check it out. Like I said, do your own research and see what you think. Daily court stuff stops. Thank you, Cher. Remember when they used to call us the melting pot, right, Lori? Now, what are we? I don't know. All lives matter. I stand my ground on that and truly believe it. Me too, Kathy. Like I said, people can school me and call me a racist. And you know what? It's going to happen. Just so you guys know, if you're going to be bold enough to step out, stand up, and speak, people are going to ridicule you. They are going to say stuff about you. They are going to call you a racist or whatever. What I'm reminding you to do is to know who you are and to remember that you're not. Don't let other people convince you are because they want you to be, because it's more convenient for them to say that you are. Like I said, this white fragility, that is the biggest joke of a book I've ever listened to in my life. The whole premise, you are either racist or a racist in denial. There are no other options. Okay? If you don't think you're a racist in denial. I mean, talk about a conundrum you can't get out of. Like, it's just all you have to do is block out the nonsense because it's just noise. It's just ridiculous noise. But people are buying into this. And this woman's making millions of dollars doing woke corporation, anyway. Okay. Hello from Water Valley. Welcome, Water. Welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you being here. Daily vitamin D can work better than the flu shot. Amen to that, Watermelon. How can wearing a petri dish all day be healthy? Lori, that's what I said. I can't do it. I feel nauseous whenever I put a mask on. When I had to go to the hospital, like tomorrow, I'm going to see somebody who's in the hospital, and I have to. Yes, I am on Telegram and Cloud Hub. I just not doing stuff over there yet, but I have an account there. You'll see if you're on my newsletter list. Go to VickiFitch.com, and get on my newsletter list. But I have to wear a mask in order to see my friend. That I'm willing to do, but it makes me feel nauseous. Sometimes I have to leave because I start to feel dizzy. I don't know why I feel dizzy. I don't know why I feel nauseous, but I do, and I don't want to wear it, and I don't wear it anywhere I go, but I will wear it in a hospital to protect other people. I just have to keep excusing myself and, to get my head so it doesn't feel like I'm going to pass out. They were paid tens of thousands of dollars per patient, right, Tessie? It's awful. Sound like the election count that was wrong too, right, Dale? On the news today, they said there is a new type of bird flu. You know what? There's going to be a new type of bird flu. There's going to be, and now I heard that flip flopping Fauci said that now there's strains of CV that we can't predict. So people are going to have to get vaccinated and then revaccinate, and it's like this is never going to stop. Okay? Am I crazy, or does it sound like a money making scheme? I mean, I'm just asking. Like, it 99% like survival rate, and let's see, most people don't even know they have it. The people that do that get sick and something happens to you. But let me give you this virus. I mean, this vaccine, which is not a vaccine. Remember, because vaccine means they're actually that you won't get it in the future, or that 99% of the people I think don't get it. I can't remember the operational definition, but you get my point. This is not a vaccine. It's not even approved. It's just an emergency use authorization. And I have to leave in 4 minutes because I have Bible study tonight. So I'm going to try and wrap this up quick and check your comments. And I don't even you know what? My topic is Jim Crow 2.0. I don't think so, Joe, and I didn't even do it. So we're gonna have to do it tomorrow because it's really important. But it's like tomorrow. Wait, tomorrow's Friday. I might have to do a daytime one tomorrow. I don't know, people. I got to figure this out because you guys don't come on Friday nights, and if I do it during Friday day, I don't know if you're gonna be here or not. So I got to figure that one out. Anyway, where was I? Now I lost my place because I'm realizing I'm gonna be late. And then I realized I didn't talk about my topic today. Where was that, you guys? Let's see. I don't think any politicians has scared you. Oh, we were talking about new virus. Oh, that you're going to have. That's right. That they have to. That this whole thing where most people aren't even getting sick. Most people that do get sick survive, but they're going to give us experimental treatments that are killing some people, causing people long-term health issues. And if I don't know if you heard the stuff about women that are of childbearing years, that this is stopping, like people are aborting babies, and it may stop you and make you sterile because it's telling the body that the placenta can't get pregnant, even though it's not actually damaging the placenta. It somehow is giving the signal that the woman can't get pregnant. That was from the doctors organization we've talked about before. Again, I know I get banned every time I say that one out loud. I don't think politicians should scare jurors to vote in favor of mob demands over listening to evidence. Right, Lori? That right there, he's going to be able to appeal off that. Whether I think he's responsible for something. I don't even know what's going to happen. This is the whole thing. We need to all make noise. We do need to make noise, guys. If DC is a state, what is its capital? Good question, Mel. It won't pass the Senate. They need to approve of all 50 states before they can make DC a state. I agree, Tessie, and I pray that. But who knows if they started getting some of these senators in their pocket, because you know that they have some conniving crap going on, because the stuff that they're doing is nuts. Let's see. I'm trying to go really fast. A white guy was killed by police in Dallas. Nobody gives a dang. I didn't even know. Watermelon, right? I didn't even know because there's so much flooding of everything else. Call me a racist. Hashtag under the house. Right, Kathy? I know. I hope, and this is what I'm going to ask for you guys. If you know me, and people do start calling me names like racist or whatever, I hope you'll stand up for me. I don't expect you to. I just hope you will. Because if you know anything about me, that's the farthest thing from the truth. I would do anything for anyone. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what creed you. I don't care what your sexual orientation. I don't care. I love people. But you mess with people and you go after them and try and stab them, I'm still gonna love you as a person, but you ain't coming anywhere near me. You need to go, right? You need to take care of your business. But I'm not a racist. I'm not a bigot. I'm not any of that crap. I'm a person. And I hope that you guys will have the courage to stand up for other people that you know when people start talking bad about them. I hope you'll start, just like the left does. I hope you'll start supporting people. You don't have to get in their faces. Just say, you know what? I don't believe that to be true about her or him or them. Support people. You need to back your people. You need to back people up so you'll get stronger and more confident in what you believe. And again, if you don't believe it, don't do it. I'm just saying if you believe it. I work with the police daily at work. They are the bravest people I've met. There are bad apples, but the majority are amazing. Back the blue. Amen to that, Holly. I'm still hoping you will check out Alex Mohar on Haps and debate him. Sherry, is that the one you sent me the message on? Remind me, send it back. I will totally debate him. I just need a topic, or I need to watch some of his shows and make sure. I mean, if I don't want it to be just a nightmare, but if there's actually a conversation, get a thinner mask. You know what? I don't know how you can get a thinner mask, but I'm just not gonna. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. If there's one that thinner than the paper ones you get, think about all of our friends in high school: Ron Henderson, Mexican; Misuk, Asian; Metcalf, Black; yada yada. Right? None. I know. None of us. We were all just good friends. We love everybody, and I know it's crazy. I'll be here Friday night all the time. Okay, Dale. So if I do one tomorrow night, are you guys coming? Treats the implanted egg as a virus. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, back the blue. I totally agree with that. I know my husband's messaging me right now to tell me I'm late for Bible study. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I will try and come on tomorrow night or day, and you might have to catch the replay. Again, if you guys will come Friday nights, I'll do it. But we need to have people here. I'm sorry I didn't get to Jim Crow 2.0. I don't think so, Joe, but we will get to that because again, today was the preface. We'll call it Jim Crow 2.0. I don't think so, Joe 2. Thanks. Just type Alex's name in the find broadcaster bar above and listen to his broadcast. Okay, I will do that. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to remind you, like I always do,